Merry Christmas to all of you and welcome to Bears and Bulls. I'm your host, Riva Galveztan. Today is December 23, 2009, 2 days before Christmas. Wow, I can feel the Christmas rush and I'm so excited to have my Noche Buena with my family. But before that, of course, we'd like to welcome our guest, Miss Mary Grace Dimacali. She's the president of Mary Grace Foods. I'm sure you all know what Mary Grace is and what she sells. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Riva.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning. First of all, well, of course, I wanted to invite Miss Mary Grace because I think it's high time, at Christmas time, we like having pastries and other baked goods. So it's really good that we have Miss Mary Grace with us here to tell us more about, how her business started and, what are the best Christmas gifts you can give in the industry that she's in. So, hello again.
Hi. Hello.
Yeah. So, first of all, before we talk about Christmas gifts, I want to know, I'm sure the baking industry or pastry industry is very competitive already. I want to know how you were able to, really stand out from the rest. I'm sure, you go to the mall, you see this brand of ensaymada, this brand of cakes.
They're all over
they're all over the place. I mean,
yes.
And now on Multiply, online, everyone's selling cakes and pastries. So I wanted to know what was your strategy in the beginning to stand
Well,
out?
I focused on ensaymadas and cheese rolls as our flagship product. So I guess in that way, I could consider myself the prime mover. So even if there should be ensaymadas and cheese rolls of other brands that came after me, there was great advantage in being the first. Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Of course, we make quality. I never strayed away from premium ingredients, homemade goodness, real butter, the real thing, real eggs, no
So
preservatives.
I think it's the real thing that made it different.
real thing,
Yeah.
the real thing.
Because actually, honestly, I don't know well, I've tried a lot of brands of ensaymada and cheese roll, but I really couldn't distinguish. I mean, of course, they have different, there's a different taste for each, but I really couldn't distinguish what's
Yes.
the real ingredient or not.
Yes,
So
yes.
I guess, what is actually real?
Why it stands out.
Yeah, why it stands
Well,
out.
I think it's because it has a very good texture. It has body and yet it's soft and melts in the mouth. And doesn't have any additives or preservatives. But if you buy the ensaymadas, keep them in a normal room temperature. They'll stay soft. They'll stay good. And of course, we use real butter, inside and out, and we top it with queso de bola. So there's a festive Edam cheese.
Queso
Yeah,
de bola
queso
for
de bola.
Christmas.
Yeah. So there's a festiveness about the product.
All right, that's good. How about so when you made the ensaymada already, what was your approach in selling it to people? Was it you wanted everyone to try it first and see taste it for themselves, or I don't know, what was your approach
Yes.
when you started it?
I wanted to put it in the market, and bazaars were a great venue.
Yeah, usually they start with bazaars.
Right, and at first my products weren't moving during the very first few bazaars, but my son, who is your classmate, Gabby, who was with me then, said, "Mom, put it on the plate, cut it up into pieces, make people taste it." So when I started to do that, I guess people found out it was good. And
especially in this industry, you have to be
right.
you have to be more open about doing some taste tests,
testing, developing relationship with your customers, going the extra mile, that sort of thing. So I deliver the ensaymadas to villages in the Makati area, even on, a few hours before Christmas, the night before Christmas. I really wanted them to have that fresh taste experience, for their Noche Buena or their Media Noche.
Of course. How long did it take you to, let's say, perfect this kind of recipe?
Oh God, I had to cry first, no?
I just wondered, yeah.
Research was extensive. Experimentation, I think, was extensive too. Yeah, you tweak here, you tweak there. You cry a lot until one day, my God, you finally got the right balance of texture and flavor, goodness,
And
There you go.
how are you able to feel that, this is the right recipe already or the right combination?
An entrepreneur,
Was it your gut or
right. An
yeah.
entrepreneur has to have some gut feeling about it,
Uh-huh.
and then she gets affirmed, I guess, when people appreciate it and
Yeah.
buy it.
Okay, that's a living proof that people
Yeah.
really want to
Right,
get
right.
more of your product. So I wanted to ask, what is your secret other than, of course, the recipe and everything? What is your secret in doing this business?
I was never afraid.
Mm-hmm.
You
You're
know,
never afraid.
I was never afraid to stand with a plate of ensaymada cheese roll bits on my plate and offer it to people and talk to all kinds of people.
About
And
it.
there were a lot of very kind and affirmative and appreciative, clientele. I remember them, and there's always some kind of glow in my
Yeah.
heart for them. I really do thank them. But determination, perseverance. I remember standing under the rain, selling ensaimadas. I remember after a bazaar, I had so many boxes left. I can't believe what I did. I actually bought the boxes. I brought the boxes to Magallanes Church and just stayed outside of the church, set up my table just to sell the boxes.
Amidst the bad weather.
Amidst the bad weather.
Oh, wow. So I think it's something that's really not a secret, but I think everyone should keep that in mind in doing business.
Be
because
courageous, be determined, persevere.
Just get it out there, whatever your idea is.
And get across to people. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Some people are, of course, in the beginning, they're thinking, oh, will this sell and everything.
Yeah.
I think the first thing you should think of is, who do I sell this to? And, if you target them, then they can, you can attack them.
Right.
Because if you don't know who
Yeah.
you're selling to in the beginning.
That's
But
true.
who was your target market in the beginning?
Without realizing it, because I'm an entrepreneur then. I was an entrepreneur then by intuition, and I didn't realize that the bazaars were my target market because you had people from the villages coming to, patronize
Is it
these
usually
bazaars.
moms or even guys by?
We had
Mix.
moms, and we had young people for the cheese rolls as well.
Not much of
Yeah,
the dads.
that's across, I think. The dads, because they had to, buy gifts as well.
That's
yeah,
great.
It was a wide section of
Uh-huh.
people who came.
Yeah, I think when it comes to food, it could be
Yeah.
very,
Right.
very
right,
extensive also with the market.
Right.
So based on what you were saying, I wanted to know also what was other than perfecting the recipe, what were the other most challenging experiences you've had from doing the business? On the business side of it.
Exposure week after week in hundreds of bazaars. I never really had a quiet Christmas. Just as
Especially
the
during
bazaars,
the Christmas, yeah.
right? Just as the bazaars would end, then I had to churn out the ensaimadas. Even up to the wee hours of the morning of Christmas Eve.
And do you have a factory for this or do you do it
I
at
started
home?
at home. I started in my little kitchen. Then I moved to a little bigger place, and then finally my whole house was converted into a cooking facility.
And now everyone had to move out.
Yeah, everybody had to move out, and I'm happy to say that we're building a more professional commissary.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the fruit of our labor.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course. That's great. So it's really, doing it yourself. I think, I'm sure you had other people help you out, but it was still you who was
Right.
doing it.
I wore many hats.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you couldn't just say to your people, hey, can you do 200 pieces of ensaymada or 500?
No.
You had to do it yourself.
You got to do it
also.
yourself because you have to train people. People you trust.
And I think it's one of the hardest parts also
Training.
to train
Yes,
train
yes,
people.
yes,
How are you
yes.
able to
Wasn't
find?
easy.
So now I'm sure you're able to delegate the recipe to your people already.
That's top secret.
Oh, that's top secret. Oh, okay.
That's top secret. We weigh the ingredients, we put them into bags, and then we have people to knead the dough and cut them up, weigh them,
course.
that sort of thing.
So you make everything from scratch right
yes,
now?
yes, everything from scratch.
Wow.
From every egg that's
Yeah.
broken
Yeah.
and separated, egg yolks and the whites.